Okay, so now we're going to talk about translations. So we just did dilation, so let's talk about translations. So translation is a transformation that slides every point of a figure the same distance in the same direction. Okay, so the algebraic rule would be xy transforms to x plus a and y plus b. We'll talk about that more here in a minute. So ABC prime is the image of triangle ABC after our translation of 3 units right and 5 units down. So if we plot those points, so we have A to A prime. So if this was done correctly, A should move 3 to the right and 5 units down. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So A prime should be -1 and -1. And then B prime is 1, 2, 3 to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. That's correct, so it'd be -1, -4. C prime, 1, 2, 3 to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. So that would be +2, -2. So again, when we did that translation, we always want to start at the point we started at, and then we move it from there. So we would start at where A is, and then move that point 3 right and 5 down to move it to A prime. Okay, and so when we write the algebraic rule, there's a couple things you need to remember. So the x value is always going to be left to right. And the y value is always going to be affected up and down. So whatever direction I move something right or left determines if I'm adding or subtracting to it. So if I start at a point xy, I'm going to transform it. Okay, and so we have to look at what we did to the x value. So if I move the x value 3 units to the right, well, if I'm moving something to the right, we're going to be adding to the x value. If I move something to the left, we're going to subtract from the x value. So in this case, because I moved it 3 units right, then I'm going to add 3 to the x value. And then at the y value, because that controls the up and down, if I move it something up, I'm going to add, and if I move it down, I'm going to subtract from the y value. So starting at the y value, I moved it down 5, so I would subtract 5 from the y value. And again, all this tells me is that I started x, and then I'm going to x plus 3, so I'm going to add 3 to the x value. So in this case, like for C prime, -1 plus 3 becomes +2. So I added 3 to the x value. Then the y value I would subtract 5 from. So if I start at 3 and I subtract 5 from 3, I would get -2. So let's do this one over here. So we have A, B, C, D, E, and we have to graph A, B, C, D, E prime after a translation of 4 units right and 5 units down. So starting at A, we would go 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. That would be A prime. So what I want you to do right now is I want you to pause the video. I want you to go ahead and move all the points on your own, redraw the figure, and then come back to the video and let's see if you have the same picture I do. So we move B, 4 right, 5 down, and C, 4 right, 5 down, and D, and then E. So this would be B prime, C prime, D prime, and E prime. So those should look something like that. And then we'll do the algebraic rule. So remember, I want you to go ahead and write the algebraic rule yourself. You always want to start off at xy, and then we're going to transform it. So go ahead and pause the video again, do the algebraic rule on yourself, and let's see if what you do matches what I write. So don't forget, if I move it to the right, we're going to add. If I move it to the left, we're going to subtract from the x. And if I move it up, we're going to add to the y. And if I move it down, we're going to subtract from the y. So from the x, we moved it to the right 5 times, so that would be x plus 4. And we moved it 5 units down, so to the y, I would subtract 5 from the y. So x plus 4, y minus 5. Okay, for the last one, we have the vertices of triangle ABC. So they give us what A, B, and C are. So let's plot those. So we have A is 2, 5. We have B is 4, negative 3. And it's kind of hard to see because it's out of the way, but C is actually negative 3 and 1. So we're going to transform these by using the algebraic rule x minus 5, y plus 2. So again, all that's going to tell me is that I need to subtract 5 from the x value. So my x value here is 2, b is 4, c is negative 3. So we subtract 5. So 2 minus 5 would be negative 3. So we do 2 minus 5, and then we would do 5 plus 2. So 2 minus 5 is negative 3. 5 plus 2 is 7. So that doesn't look right. Then we have 4 minus 5. So we do 4 minus 5, and then negative 3 plus 2. So 4 minus 5 would be negative 1. Negative 3 plus 2 would be negative 1. And again, be using a calculator if you're unsure. And then the last one, we would take negative 3 minus 5 and 1 plus 2. So negative 3 minus 5 is going to be negative 8, and 1 plus 2 is 3. So those would be my points for A prime, B prime, and C prime.